The fourth step is patience. Because understand that we as human beings, we are always in a rush. Hey, I want to get married now. I want that job now. I want that promotion now. I want this issue fixed now. You can't rush relationships. You can't rush everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a timeline, and there is hikmah, there is wisdom in that timeline. So trust in the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have patience over what happens next. You cannot force an outcome onto other people. There will be times when you communicate something where you have a conflict, where you have a fight with your siblings, and you communicate, hey, this is the boundary that I have, and you are grateful, but things might not turn in your favor immediately. Interestingly enough, when the Prophet ﷺ started giving dawah in Makkah, it took him a very long time to actually bring people into the fold of Islam. In fact, in the first 5 years, barely 35 to 40 people had converted. Umar radhiyallahu anhu himself, he converted after 5 years of dawah. That's a long time. Oftentimes, when we talk to someone, when we've looked at things from an emotionally stable perspective, when we've communicated our needs, and when we've listened to them, when we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things still may not always turn out in our favor immediately. Things take time. People take time. Generally, when you give people the room to look at, to experiment, to make mistakes, people take time in helping resolve existing conflicts. But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. It just means that there's a timeline that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. I have done my part, now I need to have patience. And naturally, in those steps, whatever I can do to ensure that the outcome turns out in the best of manners, that's what I need to do as well. And naturally, when you communicate things to people, there will be times when people don't like that, when people straight out shun you out. And that's where the concept of sabr lies most of all. Because remember, you are on the legacy of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he too was shunned out by his people. Naturally, since we're in his legacy, the same thing would happen to us if we start to take Islam seriously. And that's just a part of how the structure of Islam lies, where we need to be patient over what goes against our will. And there will be scenarios, there will be situations that will not turn out in our favor. That could be in marriage, that could be in friends and families and jobs and work and business, etc., and so on and so forth.